Hello and many thanks for joining us. This is the news on Galaxy Television, broadcasted to viewers here in Nigeria, West Africa and across the globe. My name is Tife Tanimomo. Our top stories. The federal government is set to recapture escaped inmates of the Abolongo Correctional Center. Plus, on the news, the International Criminal Court, ICC, agrees to investigate the abduction of school children in Nigeria. And when we take you outside Nigeria, suspected terrorists bombing kills at least one person and injures 7 others in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Those are top stories. Details in just a moment. A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on the news once again. We'll begin with stories from the federal government angle, as the federal government says all escaped inmates of the Abolongo Correctional Center will be recaptured. Correspondent Kunleojo tells us more on this report.
2 days after the violent attack on this correctional service, notable personalities have continued to visit the center. Notable among them is the Alaafin of Oyo. Also, Governor Seyi Makinde promised that his administration will ensure that the needful is done to ensure safety of lives and property at this correctional service.
Authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service have commenced repair of some damaged facilities at the Abolongo Correctional Service in Oyo as part of measures to secure the place against further attacks. Welders and other workers were seen busy with the repair of the gates leading to the cells, while appropriate security measures are now in place. Notable personalities within and outside Oyo State have continued to visit the place 2 days after the incident. Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, was the first caller at the correctional center on Sunday, where he decried the level of damage. He was followed by the Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, Ngozi Onodeko, who had deployed her men around the facility. Governor Seyi Makinde later arrived at the correctional service and was followed by the Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, and Deputy Controller General Operations, Mohammed Tuko. After an assessment of the facility, the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, noted that 446 out of 907 escapees have been recaptured, while 69 never left the facility. He promised that all the fleeing inmates will be recaptured, while the Deputy Controller General Operation, Mohammed Tuko, and the Assistant Controller in charge of the facility, Adam Ongaji, speak on the number of inmates recaptured so far.
This is an anomaly that should never repeat itself. The Federal Republic of Nigeria cannot be overwhelmed. Our guards will give whatever it takes never to be overwhelmed again. We are going after every single inmate that has escaped from this custody. We shall hunt them to the ends of the earth. All the security agencies in the country are on their trail.
That here, in this custodial center, we don't have any high-profile inmate. The only person we have is that person who has a case with EFCC. And for your information, he's still with us here. He didn't go to anywhere.
We have recaptured 378 inmates.
Out of how many?
Out of 907 inmates. Final lockup.
How many are at large now?
The number at large is 460 inmates at large.
They urge residents and people of the state not to offer any form of assistance in terms of material or support to the escapee, warning that doing such is against the law and could attract sanction. On their part, Governor Seyi Makinde and Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, condemned the attack and called for more security in the area.
But whatever the case is, we've made an assessment of here. We've taken some decisions, immediate decisions. we ask that the road from the main road to here be graded immediately. And we also said that we're going to position camera here and we will link it back to our security situation room.
For those who are wounded, and that we pray God that He will restore the lives of those who are in the hospital. The people of the town should be patient and see what the government will do. The government will react positively, I'm sure, and that this incident will be a thing of the past.
Governor Makinde called for calm while he enjoined residents to dispel rumor of escape of any high-profile inmates in the facility. From Abolongo in Oyo Town, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Well, we have updates on that story as 13 fleeing suspects have been recently arrested in Osun State. Meanwhile, Governor Seyi Makinde calls for calm over the jailbreak at the Abolongo Correctional Facility, Oyo, stating that all security agencies in the state have been put on high alert. Makinde, who stated these in a state broadcast, said the government has directed the security agencies to deploy personnel to critical national assets within the state and to monitor all entrances and exit points across the state. Correspondent Kule Ojo reports that the governor also commiserated with the families of the two slain security agents.
The correctional facility had been attacked with explosives and some inmates were set free. Our security men were ambushed. As a result, we lost 2 of our security agents, a corporal with the Nigerian Army attached to Operation Burst, and an operative of the Oyo State Amotekun Corps, Tijani Sadiq Babatunde. I've directed the security agencies to deploy personnel to critical national assets within the state and to monitor all entrance and exit points across the states.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, says Karim Khan, prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, ICC, has agreed to investigate cases of abduction of school children in Nigeria. SERAP, adding a petition dated 4 September 2021, urged the ICC prosecutor to push for those suspected to be responsible for these crimes to be invited and tried by the ICC. SERAP in the petition argued that the severe and lifelong harms that results from depriving children the right to education satisfy the gravity of harm threshold under the Rome Statute. And here in Ogun State, there was a pandemonium in Obadaoko, in the Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State, following the kidnapping of 3 worshippers in the Cherubim and Seraphim Church along railway station in the early hours of Sunday. It was gathered that the abductors had demanded for ransom of 6 million naira before they can be released. Police Public Relations Officer PPRO Ogun State Command Abiola Oyeyemi said the State Command Anti-Corruption Anti-Kidnapping Unit has been dispatched to the area to partner with the Obadaoko Division of the Police to rescue the victims. He added that it should also be noted that the police had warned members of the public from holding midnight prayers, otherwise known as vigils, and religious activities in areas considered to be isolated without police supervision. And now to drug-related abuses, the NDLEA, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, has intercepted over 2,060 kilograms of assorted drugs, including heroin, methamphetamine, cannabis, tramadol, and rofinol in operations at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, as well as in Ondo, Edo, Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, and some courier companies. 2 consignments of heroin weighing 4.40 kilogram and 550 grams were intercepted on October 6 and 15 respectively at the cargo shed of the MIA Ikeja Airport. 35-year-old nursing mother Miriam Drisu was arrested at the Edo State Command headquarters of the agency on Thursday, 21st October, while trying to smuggle drugs into the cell for a suspect in custody. NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa retired urged officers across the country to keep their eyes on the goal until all the drug cartels in the country are totally dismantled. You're still on the news on Galaxy Television. We'll take a break now, but in the part 2 of the news, group urges government and parents to play their roles in properly sensitizing the youths on the effect of using illicit drugs. Stay with us. Welcome back. Many thanks to our online viewers for joining the news across all social media platforms. Now, for more update and latest news, you could also visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. We're live on our Facebook page at facebook.com. You could follow and interact with us at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at GalaxyTV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate a live update and comment. Start tracking drug abuse-related offenses. Government at all levels and parents are urged to play their roles properly in sensitizing the youth on the effect of using illicit drugs. Speakers at a symposium put together by the Justice Development and Peace Center, JDPC, admonished parents to monitor the company their children keep, both at home and in school.
Within the spectrum of the NDLEA Act of N30, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended, how do we fight this struggle? How do we face these challenges? We fight this on two fronts. One is called the drug supply reduction. That talks about arrests, seizures, confiscation, prosecution, and conviction. Let me be quick to say here that anyone can arrest, but no one has the powers constitutionally to prosecute on the NDLEA. I'm saying so because there is a misconception. Some people think, or some people deliberately say, we also have the powers to prosecute. Only NDLEA, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, is empowered by law to prosecute.
Preventing drug abuse goes beyond saying no to what? Drug abuse. This is the simplest. This is the simplest. Say no to drug abuse. And it works for who? Those that don't have any problem.
All over the world, according to the United Nations World Drug Report, about 35 million people are suffering from drug use disorders. And about one in 7 people are finding relief or treatment.
While one of the conveners, Achike Chude, underscored the reason for the event, the NDLEA commander spoke on the effort of the agency to stop illicit drug from entering the country.
Well, you know, we are part of the Nigerian society, and so we are concerned about the progress of our society and the welfare of the society, and we feel that we are having a serious existential threat with regards to the usage of illicit drugs. Of course, you cannot build a nation, that is high where the citizens are high on drug. It's not possible to develop such a nation. So this is something we have been doing for quite some time. It's one of our thematic areas at the JDPC.
What NDLA is doing at the borders, we have beats there. Let me just put it that way. We have beats. We have special area commands at all entry and exit points, because we don't want the traffickers, the bad guys, to elude us in our bid to ensure that drug trafficking is brought to its knees.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Ogun State asks those involved in child molestation and trafficking to desist or face the full wrath of the law. State Commandant of the Corps, Kolawole Taiwo, made this known while parading some suspects involved in trafficking at the command's headquarters in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital.
The second suspect had been known to child trafficking underage, and also took 2 of these 3 victims to Libya. We are using this medium to warn those in the business of molesting the underage and also in the business of trafficking them.
Still tracking crime-related stories, the Ondo State Commander of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has arrested a middle-aged man, Ige Ayodele, for allegedly swindling unsuspected members of the public of 1.9 million naira for job racketeering. Parading the 44-year-old in Akure, the NSCDC State Commandant Hamed Abodure said the counter-terrorist unit of the command has been on a hunt for the suspect due to a series of complaints by over 19 victims. He said the suspect confessed that he has a network of connections of job offers in collusion with a supposed aide to a top government functionary. He added that the suspect collected a sum of 1.9 million from victims between November 2019 and May 2020.
My officers and men, during their intelligence and investigation activities, they were able to arrest a man who has been dubiously collecting money from members of the public, unsuspecting members of the public, with pledges and promises that he will give them job.
And now to party politics. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, National Convention Organizing Committee, NCOC, has declared that nothing will stop the convention of the party scheduled for October 30 and 31, 2021 from taking place. This is against the backdrop of a court case instituted at the High Court in Kaduna by some members of the party to prevent the convention. Makin said the convention will send a clear signal to Nigerians that the PDP is the only party that has the will and might to rescue Nigeria from the recent tragedy. A report here in Lagos says the Lagos State government has improved its desire to harness talent, energy and dynamism of young Nigerians for sustainable development. Speakers who highlighted the importance of harnessing talents in Nigeria said the tournament is an avenue for young Nigerians of the state to showcase their talents.
we still need more, so that a lot of those boys will go back from the streets. We will see what the boys will do. We have talents in Lagos. We will surely tap from them during these tournaments.
We understand that if we do not create a refuge for this risk at youth, we cannot curb crime rates in the state. And we will continue to look for ways to address and curb these issues.
It will contribute to the quality of life of citizens of not just the Russians, but everyone who resides or anyone who resides in Lagos State. And that's where the LASRA registration comes in. You don't have to be a Lagosian, just be a resident. This is very, 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 very good, because if you see the wide gap between the government and the youth, the youth in Lagos actually need this encouragement. We have so much talent in Lagos. You can go to all the stadiums under the bridge every day in Lagos. Countless of talent. That's marketing. This is by way of inviting all the corporate organizations to support us.
Meanwhile, Nigerian youths have been urged to use the social media for positive activities geared towards achieving peace and national unity, and not the opposite. Former chairman, Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, Sam Amadi, made the call while speaking in Abuja at a National Peace Summit with the theme, The Road to Lasting Peace. Other subjects that came under the focus at the event includes the essential threat of banditry, terrorism, and other associated crimes in the country. There was also the call on youths in Anambra State to lay down their arms and work for the success of the November 6 governorship elections in the state.
I want to encourage you people that you are at the best advantage. Why? You have energy right now. You have less domestic problem to deal with. This is actually the time for you to exercise yourself and influence the environment and change governance and change your neighborhoods and mainstream peace into wherever you are living.
Important to note that if there must be peace, there must be good leadership. Because one of the major factors of crisis, of disunity, of a call for secession in Nigeria is that a lot of people feeling they are not being carried along. A situation whereby you have people are feeling that the leadership of the country, the leadership of the state are in support of one ethnic group, are in support of one religion or the other.
However, Nigeria is currently pictured as a chaotic, unsafe and corruption-infested society with so much hatred, hate speeches, fake news, disunity, hardship in the land. Nigeria has been rendered uninhabitable because the ground of our society is crisis-ridden.
Nigeria, Africa's most populated country, is fast becoming a dangerous haven where insecurity and kidnapping for ransom has become the order of the day. Galaxy's Kelly Egiga x-rays the flourishing business of banditry and recent calls for proscription of bandits as terrorists. Take a look.
According to intelligence report, more than $11 million have been paid to kidnappers and bandits in Nigeria between 2016 and 2020 as ransom. A recent survey asked that between December 2020 and March 2021, over $70 million have also been paid as ransom to kidnappers. Fast forward to 2021, the story of banditry and kidnapping continue to make the news, especially massive abductions in the north and many parts of the country.
She told me to remove her. Just like Saturday. I said, be patient. By Saturday, by Friday, you'll be back in.
It is against this backdrop and attacks that the House of Representatives reluctantly decided to join the Senate in asking President Muhammadu Buhari to declare bandits as terrorists barely 24 hours after the Senate had made a similar request.
I urge the President and the Commander-in-Chief to A, declare the bandits as terrorists and wage total war against them, including bombing all their locations to annihilate and eliminate them.
This indeed sums up our Nigerian story. But why do these mass abductions keep happening by bandits?
You know, this government really has a soft spot for those bandits, for the headsmen. I use the expression with all sense of seriousness. It has a soft spot. Because these people carry AK-47 in broad daylight. Possession of weapon is an offense in itself, whether you use it or not. If police people search a house and they see a gun, they know an offense has been committed. But these people don't hide. Headsmen carry their AK-47. The bandits are there in the northwest, carry their AK-47, even to the marketplaces.
On the other hand, the fact that popular and controversial Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmed Gumi has featured prominently in the bandit saga has left many Nigerians worried. The Islamic scholar claims to be mediating with the bandit to end the menace of kidnapping for ransom, but his utterances and actions have brought him under severe scrutiny.
The moment is proscribed. We won't have anybody now saying is going in between those bandits and the government. We won't see anybody saying, like Sheikh Gumi, that you should treat bandits with gloved hands. They are not bandits, they are terrorists. They are killing, they are maiming, they are taking over people's properties.
Even the spokesman of the presidency, the Attorney General of the Federation, have come on national television to defend the activities of the headsmen, to defend the activities of the Fulani group who are terrorizing Nigeria. So it is difficult for me now to say anything, to say that if they were proscribed, that they will make any difference.
Sheikh Gumi is doing all his best to help resolve the insecurity. You see Gumi trumping his chest saying he's doing this and the security agencies know what he's doing. But let somebody just cough about IPOB. All right. And you see the way the military might to just swamp on that person.
Meanwhile, the lawmakers believe the proscription of bandits as terrorists will bring the activities of bandits and their sponsors to a halt, a view that is shared by some concerned Nigerians.
Well, the Buhari government has a little over 1 year and 6 months to go. If it does not act correctly, this government will go down in infamy as the one that turned a blind eye to the activities of all those nefarious people, to the nefarious activities of all those people. So the government should get real. They have the soldiers. Soldiers are paid to fight. All they need is a commander who believes in it. We had a military chief of staff, army chief of staff sometime. He was there fighting seriously. Some people wrote petition in 2013, 2014 to the International Criminal Court that the man was actually killing people in Borno. When the man left, the others have been there, drinking tea. That's how I would describe them, not doing the real fight. If it is a real fight, how can he spend 7 years fighting? 8 years fighting? If you know the supply line, why don't you cut it off?
Presidents and the presidents as agencies should be seen to be unbiased when it comes to treating national security.
And so, while we even applaud the National Assembly for their mild courage in moving the motion, the question still remains if both chambers are indeed sincere enough to mount pressure on the executive arm of government to proscribe bandits as terrorists. Because for many Nigerians, the legislators have been tagged as a rubber-stamp assembly or described by others as a toothless bulldog. Meanwhile, the bigger question perhaps remains if Mr. President and indeed the government authorities who have always denied not paying ransom will ponder over the many lives and property destroyed and those who have been rendered homeless to move quickly to declare bandits as terrorists. Kelly Egiga, Galaxy Television News, Lagos.
An organization under the aegis of Green Faith Niger Delta Chapter in collaboration with Lekki Development Foundation protested in Port Harcourt seeking an end to the deadly air pollution. director of the group, said they embarked on the protest to attract the attention of the government on the need to make policy that will stop all activities that causes climate change, which include gas flaring, leading to the airborne diseases. The group seeks lawmakers and government at all levels to fight against remnant fuel and promote the use of renewable energy.
We also want to warn the government to take a decision that will favor the next generation, the young generation, by developing a policy that will account for a transparent and fossil-free environment. There's no need to depend on fossil fuel no more, because we have the sun, we have renewable energy. It's coming up now. Other countries have already embarked on that.
We demand an immediate stop to fossil fuel extraction. We demand a stop to flaring that result to black suits. And we are saying a stop to all actions that lead to deforestation. And we also demand that a policy that will favor the use of renewable, reusable energy.
To tell our leaders today that they should please come to our aid, because deforestation and breaking of pipes, bunkering is affecting children's health. We are no longer taking in natural oxygen that we're supposed to be inhaling.
We are here to demand environmental justice. The high level of environmental degradation is something that the Loot and Clinic of Niger Delta is crying. We need environmental justice, and we need the government, as a matter of urgency, come up with policy framework that will address environmental degradation facing Niger Delta, Rivers people, and Nigeria.
Areas like LMA, for example, the atmosphere is so polluted, and the crops there are dying. The crops rarely grow. So we're here today for climate justice. We're here for a better environment for all.
The Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission DESO PADEC Skill Academy during the weekend matriculated 160 trainees for its second batch of Youth Empowerment Program. Speaking during the matriculation, Chairman of the Commission, Michael Didden, and the Managing Director called on the matriculating students to seize the opportunity to better their lives and be useful to the society.
The purpose of today's event is part of what we have done before, recruiting people from our various communities that makes up the oil-producing community of DESO PADEC to make them reliable.
The task of tackling unemployment among the youth is surmountable. We believe that with the even higher number of graduates from our universities in the coming years, the DESO PADEC Skill Academy will continue to involve innovative strategies to create new vistas of opportunities for our youth.
They have to be very punctual. They have to be serious with their job. Of course, the training program, and the whole essence of it is that after the pre-training program, they will be able to be well established and also train others who are also in dire need of training.
The opportunity that is given to me, I'm going to utilize it very well, not just for myself, for the society at large.
Still on the news on Galaxy Television, it's now time for us to bring you stories that made headlines last week.
Welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja ordered the immediate release of the passport of former Governor of Rivers State, Peter Odili, to him. In a judgment delivered by Justice Inyang Ekwo on Monday, the court also declares the seizure illegal and unconstitutional. Peter Odili, former Rivers State Governor for 2 terms, had his passport seized by personnel of the Immigration Service at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on 20 June this year upon arrival from a trip to the United Kingdom. The ground for the action were that Mr. Odili was on the EFCC corruption watch list. This therefore prompted the legal action against the Nigeria Immigration Service and its Comptroller General, as a former Nigerian governor sought to have his travel papers returned. and in its judgment, the court ordered the immigration to tender an unreserved apology as well as restrain it from constituting a hindrance to its right of free movement within the country. The court also restrained the service from harassing Mr. Odili, including barring him from future travels out of the country. Justice Eko stated that the action of the Immigration Service was in breach of the Immigration Act, as having someone on a watch list does not call for seizure of passports. Also on Monday, the federal government has disclosed plans to strengthen bilateral relations between Nigeria and United States of America, particularly in the area of security, democratic process, and the two-way trade and investment. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema disclosed this to journalists after a roundtable discussion with the visiting Deputy National Security Advisor to USA, Jonathan Finer. He said the two countries have discussed various matters of mutual interest and agreed to strengthen the relationship to explore in agriculture, education services, consular matters, health, and other matters that can bring economic stability to the two countries. It further expresses confidence that together the two countries can increase their bilateral relations and fight the global challenges of climate change and other issues that destabilize countries around the world. The U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor Jonathan Finer, on his own part, said this visit to Nigeria will further enhance the close relations existing between the two countries. On Tuesday, consensus arrangement in the Southeast People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the position of National Secretary zoned to the region seemed to have collapsed, even though the governors and leaders of Southeast picked Senator Sam Anyanwu last week Thursday in Enugu State as a consensus candidate. Chief Okemo Aro, a member of the party National Executive Committee, also came to submit his nomination and expression of interest form at the party national headquarters for the same position, same time with Anyanwu. The party's stalwarts were, however, different while addressing journalists during the separate film submission at the party secretariat. When accosted by journalists, Senator Anyanwu confirmed his emergence as a consensus candidate for the national secretary of the party may cause mass defection from the Imo State All Progressive Congress. He denied allegation of imposition that gave him the position, saying it could not have been imposed on the Southeast Caucus, given that he is a moving machine for the party. Also on Tuesday, the Lagos State Judicial Panel on Restitution for Victims of EndSARS-related abuses and other matters has concluded in her findings and reports and made necessary recommendation. The panel, which is led by Justice Doris Okuwobi, treated several petitions from aggrieved victims. She said the panel have received a total of 235 petitions between October and December 2020. Okuwobi gave a final recommendation, added that some of the petitioners and their witnesses were absent and their cases had to be closed due to limited time the panel asked to conclude on its report. During the proceedings at the Lagos State Court of Arbitration, Justice Dore said the petitioners have the right to file in case against the police for human rights violation and other abuses. She added that the panel took cases of police brutality alongside the Lekki shooting incidents and awarded compensation to some of the victims. On Wednesday, Nigerian celebrities, including Falz and thousands of Nigerian youth, defied heavy presence of security officers to hold a car procession at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos to mark 1-year anniversary of the EndSARS protest. Galaxy's correspondents were quickly greeted by the heavy security presence such as police officers, Lagos neighborhood security, vigilante groups, and some without uniform. But after a while, the protesters began to appear in cars, blasting their horns and chanting solidarity songs. The Lagos Commissioner of Police, Akim Udumusu, arrived at the scene and officers were seen firing tear gas canisters at the protesters. The CP made attempt to justify the action of the force, insisting leaders of the EndSARS protest told him the event ended at 10 a.m., even though there are no known leaders of the protesters. Still on Wednesday, the Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the claim of massacre of some Nigerians during the nationwide mass protest against police brutality was phantom. The minister stated this while addressing journalists on the commemoration of the NSAS protest, which held across the country on Wednesday. Mohammed said the narrative by CNN that Nigerian soldiers massacred protesters at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos State last year was fake news. According to him, Wednesday marked the first anniversary of the Phantom Massacre at Lekki toll gate in Lagos, which was culmination of an otherwise peaceful protest that was later hijacked by hoodlums. It said that most of the claims of killings were false and misleading, as most of those who made the claims of losing people were yet to show up and give evidence a year after such allegations. On Thursday, President Muhammadu Buhari presided over a security meeting with the nation's service chiefs and head of intelligence agencies. The meeting, which was also attended by Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, held at the State House in Abuja. Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabo led the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Faruk Yahya, Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, and other security chiefs to the meeting. Although the Inspector General of Police Usman Baba was absent at the meeting, he was represented by Deputy Inspector General of Police Sanusi Lemu. Some members of President's cabinet present also include the Secretary to the Governor of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Minister of Defense Major General Bashir Magashi, and Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami. Still on Thursday, the embattled leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, pleaded not guilty to the 7 amended charges preferred against him by the federal government. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja fixed November 10 for continuation of hearing in the case of alleged treasonable felony instituted against Kanu. It was reported that the case resumed Thursday amidst tight security at the court premises. Access was restricted to a few, with journalists barred from entering the courtroom. Meanwhile, counsel to the defendant Ifeanyi Ejiofor insists the Nigerian government has nothing against his client, maintaining the 7-count amended charges is baseless. On Friday, President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja urged Ogoni leaders to sensitize indigents on value of protecting national assets like pipeline and other oil installation, saying willful damages usually create more havoc on their environment and hamper development in the area. Receiving some leaders and people of Ogoni land at the State House, the president noted that the federal government was committed to the cleaning up of Ogoni land so that indigents can regain their lives, return to farms, and reactivate economic activities. The president said bad industry practices coupled with security challenges had resulted in massive spill with attendant security degradation of Ogoni, leading to agitation and strife. He said the government would bring to a close all pending issues on sons of Ogoni land. Lastly, on Friday, the House of Representative Committee on Science and Technology and Innovation has faulted the country's continued underfunding of science and technology research. It was reported that this was the key thrust to the committee's submission at the end of a 2-day oversight visit to agencies under the Science and Technology Ministry. The oversight visit was also to monitor the budget compliance of the agency in the past fiscal year. Shedder Science and Technology Complex was founded about 20 years as an institute for research in advanced science and technology. But like other agencies, the issue of underfunding has significantly hampered its function. Members of the House Committee on Science, Technology and Innovation queried the functions of machines at the agency's laboratory. The dissenting chairman of the House Committee, Benny Lar, therefore calls for an urgent change of approach as concerns technology. And that's it on Tracking the Week.
Now up next is international news.
And now to our international news. At least 1 person have been killed and 7 others injured in a suspected terrorist bombing in Uganda's capital, Kampala, authorities say. The blast went off on Saturday night at the bar, scattering panicked revelers onto the streets in the aftermath. President Yoweri Museveni said suspected terrorists may have planted a package in a plastic bag. The explosion comes 1 week after the UK government.
We're starting the happiness movement with Molfix.
For baby's happiness, it is important to choose a dry diaper because with a dry diaper, babies do not have rash and are comfortable.
Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers, Molfix Air Dry, has the dryness all the mothers dream of because it's ultra absorbent and ultra breathable, so it stays dry and does not leak. Our babies do not have rash. Come on, mothers, try Molfix and join our happiness movement.
Issued an alert about terrorism in Uganda. It warned British citizens in the East African country where attacks of this kind are rare that terrorists are very likely to try to carry out attacks. It advised them to be vigilant at public places, including restaurants and bars. Police have cordoned off the scene of the blast, a venue popular for roasted pork and beer in a largely residential area on the city outskirts. Forensic investigators are entering to gather evidence amid a heavy security presence. A local mayor told newsmen the community are fearful and wonder why anyone would target their neighborhood. Eyewitnesses told local media that 2 men came into the premises with what seemed to be a bottle in a plastic bag. However, police are yet to verify what kind of evidence went off. Mr. Museveni said on Twitter that the blast seemed to be a terrorist act and promised to catch the perpetrators. And lastly, on our international news, Colombia's most wanted drug trafficker and the leader of the country's largest criminal gang has been captured. Dairo Antonio Yusuga, better known as Otoniel, was seized after a joint operations by the Army, Air Force and police on Saturday. The government had offered a $800 million, that's £258,000 reward for information about his whereabouts, while the U.S. placed a $5 million bounty on his head. President Ivan Duque hailed Otoniel's capture in a televised video message. Quote, "This is the biggest blow against drug trafficking in our country this century," he said. This blow is only comparable to the fall of Pablo Escobar in the 1990s. Otoniel was captured in his rural hideout in Antioquia province in northwestern Colombia, close to the border with Panama. The operation involved 500 soldiers supported by 22 helicopters. 1 police officer was killed. Otoniel had used a network of rural safe houses to move around and evade the authorities and did not use a phone, instead relying on carriers for communication. But his location at the time of his capture was pinpointed 2 weeks ago, local news dailies said. And that is our international news.
You're still on the news on Galaxy Television. We'll take a commercial break, but just after that, we'll bring you entertainment reports.
We're starting the happiness movement with Molfix.
For baby's happiness, it is important to choose a dry diaper because with a dry diaper, babies do not have rash and are comfortable.
Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers, Molfix Air Dry, has the dryness all the mothers dream of because it's ultra absorbent and ultra breathable, so it stays dry and does not leak. Our babies do not have rash. Come on, mothers, try Molfix and join our happiness movement.
Welcome to Entertainment News. Marking the first anniversary of the Answers protest, popular Nigerian musician and social crusader Folarin Falana, fondly known as Falz, in a tweet said, 365 days ago, Nigerian citizens were shot and killed at a toll gate by our military men, and they honor them because they have sacrificed their very existence for a cause bigger than all of us. They live forever in our hearts. Also, marking the first anniversary of the sad incident, Nigerian actress Uche Jumbo via a Twitter account wrote, 20th October is a day in history that will never be forgotten. Popular disc jockey DJ Kupi, Thames and others marked the anniversary as well. R. Kelly's lawyers revealed that the Grammy Award-winning singer has been placed on suicide watch weeks after a New York jury found him guilty of child abuse and sexual offense. His lawyer revealed that he and another Kelly attorney will be in trial on other cases through July next year. Legal experts have said there is a possibility that prosecutors could drop the charges in the state court if he receives a lengthy prison sentence in New York. A New York jury found him guilty of 12 individual illegal acts, including sex with underage girls, as well as 1999 scheme to bribe a public aid official to obtain fake ID for 15-year-old singer.
In another news, actress Mercy Johnson Okoje has taken to her Instagram page to slam a teacher in her daughter's purity school who she alleges is in the habit of bullying her. Mercy in a post said her daughter Purity has always complained about how a particular teacher in her school constantly bullied her for 2 weeks. The mom of four said Purity mentioned to her that the teacher told her to her face that she doesn't like her mother and seizes every opportunity to bully her. She also reported the matter to the school authorities, who said they will handle the situation. Meanwhile, a lady on Instagram identified as Nancy Chidera narrated another side to the alleged bullying story. She alleged that Mercy humiliated and insulted the teacher, which in turn made the teacher burst out in tears. She also stated that the teacher also corrected Mercy's child, but Mercy seemed to believe that she's the only hated actress in Nollywood. Mercy has come out to debunk the claims of Nancy, with the receipt having to go back to the school to visit, and this time around she met with the head teacher and some teacher who witnessed to her not insulting or humiliating the teacher as Nancy has alleged. And still celebrating, congratulations pours in for actor Williams Uchemba on his birthday. The film star clocked 32 on Friday, October 2022. The film star clocked 32 on Friday, October 22, 2021, and it took to his page to shower praise on himself. The film star also used the opportunity to make 13 requests from God, as he noted that he's nothing without his maker. According to him, God will not take him anywhere he would follow him to, because he would rather be in the remotest of villages with God than being in the palace of a king without him. Happy birthday to you, Williams. Meanwhile, reacting to the bullying of Mercy Johnson's daughter, OAP Tolu Oniru Demure, aka Twos, has said that she's always ready to fight for her children. The mother of two stated this while reacting to Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson's post, in which she alleged that her 8-year-old child Purity was bullied by a teacher in a school. Let's have a quick read. And what's your take? Meanwhile, will say no to bullying. Wizkid Essence featuring Tems is unarguably the son of the summer, all thanks to Canadian superstar Justin Bieber, who jumped on the remix. Essence has moved on to break records internationally, as it has been widely accepted by audiences in different parts of the world. In an interview with the American entertainment media platform Complex, Wizkid revealed that Bieber reached out to him for the remix and he sent in a fire verse. Bieber went ahead from just sending in a verse to actually recording a short video of his part for the song. Wizkid also hinted that Essence is not the last collaboration he would do with Bieber, as they have more unreleased music together. And finally, on entertainment news, Elon Musk, the world's most renowned entrepreneur and the CEO of two of the world's largest companies, SpaceX and Tesla, is set to become the world's first trillionaire. According to analysts at Morgan Stanley, they have predicted that Musk, at 50, could become the world's first trillionaire, largely thanks to his aerospace company SpaceX. One of Musk's goals for the company via SpaceX Starship is to reach Mars. The advanced launch system already has high expectations following the success of SpaceX Crew Dragon. Earlier this month, the valuation of SpaceX increased to $100.3 billion, up from $74 billion in February, according to CNBC. The valuation made SpaceX, which Musk owns about 48% of the corporation, which is the world's second biggest privately held company. Musk is currently estimated to have $242 billion net worth, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Tesla still remains his biggest asset. And that'll be all on entertainment news.
And that does it for us on the news. For more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. And that's the primetime news on Galaxy Television. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. My name is Tife Tanimamo. Bye.